Wait, before you scroll past this one, let me ask you something quick. Have you ever wanted to say something simple in English, like about the weather, and then suddenly your brain went completely blank? Like the words were just gone. Or maybe you said something, but it came out a little strange and you thought, that was definitely not what I meant. If that sounds familiar, stay right here, because today we are talking about one of the easiest, most useful topics in everyday English. And trust me, by the end of this, you will have real sentences you can actually use. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm James. So happy you are here with us today. Whether you were listening on your way to work, sitting at home with a cup of something warm, or just taking a small break from your day, we are glad you found us.
Yes, welcome. And if you are new here, this is the place where we talk about real, everyday English in a real, everyday way. No stiff grammar lectures, no long, boring lists, just real conversation that sounds like actual life.
And if you enjoy what we do here, please subscribe to Mr. English Podcast right now. It is free, it is easy, and it helps us keep making more episodes like this one.
And share this episode with someone you know who's learning English. Maybe a friend, a family member, a coworker. One small share can make a real difference in someone's learning journey.
Okay, so Emma, today's topic is one of my favorites, and I know some people might hear it and think, oh, that sounds too easy, but I promise it is not as simple as it first seems.
Right. And honestly, the topics that seem easy on the surface are usually the ones with the most real life hiding inside them.
Exactly. So today we're talking about weather, how to talk about it, how Americans talk about it, why it comes up so much in everyday conversations, and what it really sounds like when people talk about it naturally.
Because there's a big difference between reading weather words in a book and actually knowing how to use them when you're standing at a bus stop and someone next to you says, "Can you believe this heat?"
Yes, that is a very specific kind of moment that requires a very specific kind of readiness.
And we want you to be ready for that moment.
So throughout today's episode, we'll share real stories from our own lives, talk about how weather shows up in American daily life, look at why weather is such a perfect starting point for English conversation, and go through some really useful words and phrases in a natural way.
And later, we have a word tour where we look at weather vocabulary, including some idioms and expressions that will make your English sound much more natural.
So here's today's question for the comments. What is the weather like where you live right now? And is there a type of weather that completely changes your mood the moment you step outside?
We always love reading your answers. People write from so many different places around the world, and it's honestly one of our favorite parts of making this podcast.
It really is. Okay, let's get into it.
James, can I start with something that happened to me not too long ago? Because I think it really shows why talking about weather in English actually matters in real life.
Please, yes.
Okay, so I was at a little neighborhood coffee shop, the kind where the tables are close together and there are maybe 10 people inside at any given time. Very relaxed, very quiet.
I know exactly that kind of place.
So I sit down, I order my coffee, and the woman at the table next to me looks over and says, "Finally some sunshine, right?"
Simple sentence.
Very simple. And I smiled and said, "Yes, I was so tired of all that rain." And just like that, we started talking about the rain that week, about how it had made her dog refuse to go outside, about how I had completely soaked my shoes walking to my car.
The soaked shoes experience is universal.
Universal and deeply personal. But here's the thing. That whole conversation started because of 3 words. Finally, some sunshine.
That is such a good example.
Right? She did not say something complicated. She didn't prepare a speech. She just noticed something we both shared, which was the sky, and said one small thing about it.
And the door opened.
The door opened completely, and I think that's the most important thing to understand about weather and conversation. It's not about sounding smart, it's about starting.
And weather gives you one of the easiest starts available.
Because it belongs to everyone. The sky is not personal, it's shared, and shared things connect people naturally.
That is so true. And in the United States especially, weather small talk is everywhere. Like, it is genuinely a part of daily social life here.
Very much so. You hear it in elevators, in waiting rooms, at the grocery store, walking into an office, passing a neighbor on the street.
It's the most socially acceptable conversation starter that exists.
That's a very official way to say it, but yes.
I stand by it. Okay, I have to share something too, and this one still makes me a little embarrassed even now.
Oh, now I need to hear this.
So, when I first started paying attention to how people actually talk about weather in everyday situations, I realized I had been saying things in a very stiff, unnatural way.
What do you mean?
Like, if someone said to me, "Hot one today, huh?" I would respond with something like, "Yes, the temperature is quite high today."
James!
I know. The temperature is quite high today, like I was reading from a report.
Who says that?
Nobody says that. That's the problem. And I knew all the weather vocabulary. I'd studied it, but studying words and actually speaking the way real people speak are two very different things.
That's such an important point, and I think a lot of learners go through exactly that.
Yes, you know the word, but you don't know the rhythm. You don't know how loose and easy weather talk is supposed to feel.
Right. Real weather talk is not formal. It's almost like thinking out loud.
Exactly. Someone looks outside and says, "Oh wow, it really came down last night." And that means it rained heavily, very heavily.
And that sentence sounds so alive. It came down, like the rain was doing something active and dramatic.
Which it was, honestly.
And that is such a better sentence than, "There was significant rainfall last night."
Please, nobody.
Nobody, ever.
And once I started listening to how people around me actually talked about weather, I started copying the rhythm. Not just the words, but the energy.
And that changed things?
Completely. Suddenly, I could meet people where they were in the conversation instead of sounding like a slightly confused weather app.
A slightly confused weather app is not the goal.
Not the goal at all.
Okay, so let's talk about something that I find really fascinating, and that is the connection between weather and mood. Because I do not think people always realize how strongly the weather affects how they feel inside.
Oh, it is huge, and it is very real.
Like, there are mornings when I wake up and I do not even look at my phone first. I just look out the window, and whatever I see there kind of sets the tone for the whole morning.
Same. A bright, clear morning hits differently than waking up to thick gray clouds.
Completely differently. And it's not always the way you would expect either. Like, some people love gray, cloudy days. They find them calming.
Right, and I'm one of those people, actually. Give me an overcast sky, a rainy afternoon, and something warm to drink, and I feel very settled.
Overcast. Good word. When the sky is overcast, it's fully covered with clouds. No patches of blue, no bright sun. Just one big gray or white layer above everything.
And for some people, that feels heavy and depressing, but for others, it feels soft and peaceful.
Yes, I'm more of a sunshine person myself. Not blazing hot sun, but that gentle, warm kind, where the light comes through the window and everything looks a little golden.
The golden light hour.
That is my favorite. And on those mornings, everything feels a little more possible.
Which is such an interesting thing about weather. It doesn't change your actual life, but it changes how your life feels from the inside.
Yes, the same tasks, the same day, but the sky is different and somehow you feel different.
And I think that's why people bring it up so naturally. When we say, "Lovely day today," we're not just reporting information, we're sharing a feeling.
Right. We're saying, this feels good, and we want to acknowledge it together. And on harder weather days, same thing. When someone says, it's so gloomy out, they might mean the sky is gray, but they also might mean, I feel a little gloomy too, and I just needed to say it out loud.
Yes, weather gives people a soft way to talk about how they feel without having to go straight to the heavy emotional stuff.
Which is why it's such a gentle, human kind of conversation starter.
And which is also why, if you can talk about weather naturally in English, you can connect with people quickly and comfortably.
Low pressure, high connection. That's actually a perfect way to say it.
Emma, I want to ask you about something specific, because weather in the United States is honestly very dramatic, and I think that surprises people sometimes.
Oh, yes. And it varies so much depending on where you are in the country.
Right. Someone living in Florida is having a completely different weather experience than someone in Minnesota.
Completely different planet, almost.
Florida in August. Let's talk about that.
Okay, Florida in August. It's hot, it's very, very humid.
Humid, meaning there's a lot of moisture in the air.
Yes, and when it's both hot and humid, the air feels thick, like it has weight, like you're walking through something instead of just walking outside normally.
That combination has a word, muggy.
Muggy, yes. Muggy is that specific feeling of hot and sticky and heavy all at once. And muggy weather in places like Florida or Texas in the summer is real.
I spent a week in Houston in July once.
How was it?
I stepped outside the airport and immediately understood why people don't leave their houses during the day in summer there.
The airport exit moment.
It was like opening an oven, but a wet oven, which shouldn't be possible, and yet.
And that's such a real thing. You hear people in hot, humid states say things like, it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Classic American weather complaint. Very classic.
And it's true. Dry heat feels very different from humid heat. Dry heat can actually feel manageable, but humid heat makes your whole body feel like it's working twice as hard just to exist.
Meanwhile, someone in Minnesota is dealing with winter temperatures that feel unbelievable.
Yes, wind chill temperatures that go well below zero, where your face hurts just from walking to the car.
I grew up somewhere with cold winters, and I remember days when teachers would announce it was too cold for outdoor recess, like the weather outside was considered medically unkind.
Medically unkind. That's exactly how -20 feels.
And people in those places become very, very good at talking about cold. They have specific words for specific levels of cold.
Right. There's chilly, which is a little cold, brisk, which is cool and energizing, cold, which is genuinely cold, freezing, which is serious, and then bitterly cold, which means the cold has become almost aggressive.
Bitterly cold is such an expressive phrase. It sounds like the cold is personally angry at you.
It does, and sometimes it feels that way.
It feels very intentional.
Like the weather chose you. Okay, can I tell you about one of my favorite weather memories? Because I think it shows how weather connects to memory in a really beautiful way.
Yes, please.
So, I grew up in a place that had real seasons, real fall with the leaves changing, real winter snow, real spring. And every year, without fail, there would be this one specific kind of morning in early spring.
Tell me.
It was usually sometime in March or early April, and you'd wake up and the air coming through the window was different. Like overnight, something had shifted. It wasn't warm yet, but it wasn't winter cold either. It was something in between, like the air had finally exhaled.
Oh, that is such a beautiful way to describe it.
And I remember that feeling so clearly, even now. And every time I get that smell, that specific spring morning smell, I'm immediately back in my childhood bedroom with the window cracked open.
Weather is like that. It stores itself in memory.
Yes, not just in your head, but in your body somehow.
Certain rain smells do that for me. There's a particular smell right before it rains. Some people call it petrichor, which is the actual scientific name for it.
Wait, there is a scientific name for that smell?
There is, petrichor. It is that earthy, clean smell when rain is about to start or just started on dry ground.
I did not know it had a name.
Most people do not, but everyone knows the smell.
Yes, everyone knows exactly what that smell is the moment they encounter it.
And that is another reason weather is such an easy connector in conversation. These experiences are universal. People all over the world know what rain smells like, what cold air feels like, what a suddenly dark sky looks like before a storm.
Shared experiences make conversation easy.
Very easy. And you do not have to have the same weather to understand each other's weather.
Right. Someone from a tropical country has never seen snow in person, but they can still hear someone describing it and understand something real about it.
Language about weather crosses borders.
It really does.
Okay, I want to get into something that I think is really important for English learners, and that is understanding how Americans, specifically, talk about weather in the middle of regular conversations.
Yes, because there is a difference between knowing the vocabulary and knowing how to actually use it the way native speakers do.
Right. And the main thing I notice is that real weather talk is very informal, very relaxed. People shorten things, they add little words, they exaggerate a little for effect.
Yes, Americans especially love to add a little drama to weather descriptions.
Very much so. Like, instead of saying it is raining, someone might say it's coming down out there.
Which means it's raining heavily.
Or it's pouring, which is stronger. Pouring means the rain is coming very fast and hard.
Or even, it's absolutely pouring out there. That absolutely makes it sound even more intense.
And then the total weather disaster sentence would be, I got completely soaked.
Which means you got very, very wet from the rain.
As in, the rain won, you lost.
You went outside with confidence and came back with a lesson.
Every single time with an umbrella, you think you are prepared, and then the wind takes the umbrella immediately.
The wind always wins. The umbrella is just hope shaped like an object.
That is the most accurate thing you have ever said.
Thank you. I thought about that one.
And then, on the other side, when the weather is nice, people do not just say, the weather is good. They say things like, it's gorgeous out.
Or, what a beautiful day.
Or, can you believe this weather? Which is interesting because that sentence works for both good and bad weather.
Yes. Can you believe this weather? Said on a perfect sunny day means, isn't this wonderful? But can you believe this weather? Said during a snowstorm in April means, this is unacceptable and I am personally offended.
Same words, very different feelings.
And the tone tells you everything.
Which is why listening matters so much, not just to the words, but to how the words are delivered.
Right. English is a lot about tone, and weather is a great place to practice hearing tone in action. James, let's talk about weather and small talk for a minute, because I think this is where learners get the most practical benefit.
Yes, because small talk is one of the things people find hardest when learning English.
Right. You might have great vocabulary, solid grammar, but small talk feels like a different skill entirely.
It is a different skill. Small talk has its own rules, its own rhythm, its own feel.
And those rules are different from regular conversation.
How so?
Well, in small talk, the point isn't really to exchange information. The point is to make a small, warm human connection, to acknowledge the other person and say, I see you, we're both here.
And weather is perfect for that because it gives you something to acknowledge together.
Exactly. When you comment on the weather, you're not really reporting news, you're inviting someone into a tiny shared moment.
And weather is especially powerful because it requires no personal history. You don't need to know anything about the other person.
Right. You just both need to be outside at the same time.
Which is the lowest possible requirement for starting a conversation.
Very low barrier, very high reward.
And I think once learners understand that small talk is not about being clever, it becomes a lot less scary.
Yes, nobody's expecting you to say something brilliant about the rain. They're just expecting you to acknowledge it.
Quite a day, huh? Is enough.
More than enough.
Finally warmed up. That's enough.
Looks like we might get some rain. Perfect.
These are not complicated sentences, but they open the door, and that's the whole job.
And if you want to make it a little warmer, a little more personal, you just add one small thought.
Like, finally warmed up. I was starting to lose hope.
Which is such a human thing to say.
Because you're not just describing the temperature, you're sharing a small feeling, and people respond to that.
Yes, when you add a little bit of yourself to a weather comment, it stops being a report and starts being a conversation.
And that's the shift, from weather app to actual person.
Always aim to sound like an actual person.
Strong life advice. Okay, I want to bring up something specific because I think it's really useful for learners who want to sound natural in American English conversations.
Go for it.
There's certain weather-related phrases that Americans use so often that they almost stop sounding like weather talk. They just become part of how people speak.
Like idioms.
Exactly. Weather idioms, and they're everywhere once you start noticing them.
Oh yes, like every cloud has a silver lining.
Right. That one means that even in a bad situation, there's usually something good hidden inside it.
And people use it a lot. Like someone's plans got canceled because of a storm, but then they ended up having a really lovely night at home. Someone might say, every cloud has a silver lining.
Or here's a very common one. Under the weather.
Yes, if you feel under the weather, it means you feel a little sick or tired or just not your best.
And people use this all the time. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Or she seemed a little under the weather at the meeting.
And it is such a gentle way to say you are not feeling well. It does not sound dramatic, it sounds honest but soft.
Which is probably why it stuck around.
And then there is storm in a teacup, which means making a big deal out of something small.
Yes, they were all worried, but it turned out to be a storm in a teacup.
Meaning the thing seemed like a big problem, but was actually not.
And come rain or shine, which we love.
Yes, come rain or shine means no matter what happens, no matter what the conditions are, something will still happen or someone will still do something.
Like, she walks every morning, come rain or shine.
Very committed to her walk.
Very, and admirable.
These idioms are great because once you know them, you start hearing them constantly in conversations, in TV shows, in podcasts.
And once you hear them enough, you start using them naturally without even thinking about it.
Which is exactly how real language learning happens. I want to talk about one more thing before our word tour, and it is something I think is really lovely about weather as a topic for learners.
What is that?
It teaches you how to be in the moment with language, not just in your head, but in real time with a real person in a real situation.
Say more.
Okay, so a lot of language practice happens at a desk. You read a word, you write a sentence, you do an exercise, and that is all good and important.
Absolutely.
But weather talk happens right now, in the moment. You step outside and something is happening. The sun is bright, or the wind picked up, or there's that smell before rain.
And you have to find words for what you're experiencing right now.
Yes, not for a homework answer, not for a test, for right now, with a real sky above you.
And that's different. That's the real test.
It is, and I think that's why practicing weather vocabulary is so valuable, because you get to use it immediately, every single day. The weather is always there.
Unlike some vocabulary which might wait months before a situation arises where you need it.
Right, you might learn the word negotiate and then not need it for weeks. But weather, you step outside and it's there.
Every single day, multiple times a day.
Yes, and that repetition is so good for memory. The more you use a word in real situations, the more it belongs to you.
It stops being a vocabulary word and starts being your word.
Exactly, and that's the goal. Words that belong to you and come out naturally when you need them.
Not words you have to search for while someone waits.
Exactly. You want the words to be ready.
Ready and comfortable.
And weather practice gets them there.
I love that framing. Weather as a daily language workout.
Low effort, high reward, no gym required.
The best kind of workout.
Okay, are you ready for the word tour?
I'm so ready.
Let's slow things down a little and go through some really useful weather words and phrases from today's conversation. These are words you'll hear in everyday American English all the time.
And we want you to really take these in, not rush through them, let each one land.
Our first word is overcast.
Overcast. When the sky is overcast, it's completely covered with clouds. The light feels gray or soft, and there's no visible blue sky.
For example, it was overcast all morning, but the afternoon turned out to be beautiful.
Or, I actually prefer overcast days. They feel calm and easy.
Repeat, overcast.
Overcast.
Good. Next word, muggy.
Muggy. Muggy means hot and humid in an uncomfortable way. The air feels heavy and sticky, and it can make you feel tired very quickly.
For example, it's so muggy outside today. I feel exhausted just from walking to the mailbox.
Or, the summer here is beautiful, but the last 2 weeks have been really muggy.
Repeat, muggy.
Muggy.
Next, brisk.
Brisk describes weather that's cool and fresh in an energizing way. It's not painfully cold, just lively enough to make you feel alert and awake.
For example, I love my morning walks when the air is brisk. It wakes me up better than coffee.
Or, it was a brisk November morning and everything felt very clean and clear.
Repeat, brisk.
Brisk.
Next word, humid.
Humid means there's a lot of moisture in the air. It often makes warm weather feel heavier and harder to handle.
For example, it was only 80 degrees, but it felt much hotter because it was so humid.
Or, I grew up in a dry climate, so humid summers took some getting used to.
Repeat, humid.
Humid.
Our next one is a phrase, coming down.
Coming down means rain is falling. If it's really coming down, it means it's raining heavily.
For example, wow, it's really coming down out there. Do you have an umbrella?
Or, the rain came down so hard last night that the street outside looked like a river.
Repeat, coming down.
Coming down.
Next word, pouring.
Pouring means it's raining very heavily and fast. This is stronger than just raining.
For example, I stepped outside and it was absolutely pouring. I got soaked in 10 seconds.
Or, we had to cancel the picnic because it poured all afternoon.
Repeat, pouring.
Pouring.
Now let's do an idiom, under the weather.
If you feel under the weather, it means you feel slightly sick, tired, or just not your normal self.
For example, I'm a little under the weather today, so I'm going to take it easy.
Or, he seemed under the weather yesterday at work. I hope he feels better soon.
Repeat, under the weather.
Under the weather.
Our next idiom is come rain or shine.
Come rain or shine means no matter what happens, no matter what the weather is like. It shows that something will definitely happen regardless of conditions.
For example, our neighbor walks her dog at 6 a.m. every morning, come rain or shine.
Or, the outdoor market runs every Saturday, come rain or shine.
Repeat, come rain or shine.
Come rain or shine.
And our last one today, every cloud has a silver lining.
This idiom means that even in difficult or bad situations, there is usually something positive or hopeful to find.
For example, I was upset that my flight got delayed, but I ended up having a great conversation with someone at the gate. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Or, things have been tough lately, but I try to remember that every cloud has a silver lining.
Repeat, every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
And those were today's words. Overcast, muggy, brisk, humid, coming down, pouring, under the weather, come rain or shine, and every cloud has a silver lining.
Pick one or two that felt new to you. Write them down and try to use one of them this week in real life.
Yes, the goal is not to memorize all of them at once. The goal is to make one of them yours.
Okay, before we close, I want to do something we always love doing. Say it better.
Yes, we take a sentence that is correct, but maybe a little stiff or flat, and we make it sound more natural, more like something a real person would actually say.
Ready?
Ready. Okay. First one, the weather is not good today.
Better version. It's pretty miserable out there today.
Miserable means very unpleasant, and it sounds so much more alive than not good.
Or you could say, what a rough day weather-wise.
Both are real. Both sound like actual people.
Next, it is hot.
Better version, it is absolutely roasting out there.
Roasting means extremely hot, like you are being cooked. Very American expression.
Or, this heat is no joke today, which means the heat is serious and real.
Next, the weather is nice.
Better version, it is gorgeous out.
Short, warm, natural. Gorgeous means very beautiful.
Or, what a beautiful day. I can't believe how nice it is.
The I can't believe part adds real feeling. It makes you sound like someone who is genuinely happy about the weather.
Next, it rained a lot last night.
Better version, it really came down last night.
Or, it poured last night. The streets were flooded.
Adding a detail like the streets were flooded makes it sound much more like a real story.
Last one, I am a little sick.
Better version, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today.
Softer, more natural, and very commonly used.
And people immediately know what you mean.
No confusion, just clear, natural English.
Say it better is always about sounding like yourself in English, not like a textbook, like a real person with real feelings.
And Weather Talk is honestly the perfect place to practice that.
Emma, I think we should close with something real. something genuine.
Yes, let's bring it home.
If you have been listening today and your English still feels a little uncertain sometimes, that is okay.
More than okay. That is honest.
Every language learner has moments where the words feel close but not quite there, where you understand something but aren't sure you could say it yet.
Those moments are not proof that you're failing. They're part of the journey.
And Weather Talk is a beautiful place to start building confidence because the stakes are low and the reward is real.
You say, "Nice day today," and someone smiles and says, "Right? Finally." And you think, "I did that. That was a real conversation."
And it was, even if it was small.
Small conversations add up to big fluency over time.
That's the real secret of language learning, consistent small moments.
Not one big dramatic breakthrough, just small moments every day, building on each other.
Come rain or shine.
Come rain or shine, yes, exactly.
Keep showing up, keep practicing, keep listening.
And keep talking about the weather.
All right, lovely people, that's our episode for today.
And we have a little something we want you to do before you leave.
Go to the comments right now and tell us what the weather is like where you are today.
Just one sentence, even a short one. It's sunny here, it's raining, it's way too hot. All of that counts.
Or tell us your favorite kind of weather and why. We genuinely love reading those.
And if this episode helped you, if one phrase felt useful, if one story felt familiar, please share Mr. English Podcast with someone who is also learning English.
One share really does make a difference. It helps us reach more learners and keeps us making more episodes.
And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to Mr. English Podcast right now. New episodes come out regularly, and we would love for you to be there for every one of them.
Real English, real conversations, real life.
That's what we do here.
And we are so glad you're part of it.
Take care of your English.
Take care of each other.
And no matter what the sky looks like where you are today,
We hope it brings you something good.
see you in the next one.
Bye for now, friends.